What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. What the hell was that? What did I even watch? The whole Maxine Waters Congressional hearing on GameStop, where I guess they were trying to investigate the situation and figure out what happened with how Robinhood stopped allowing people to buy shares of GameStop during a crucial point of a short squeeze. But what it ended up ultimately becoming is, hey, I'm a congressperson and I'm on TV, a bunch of people watching me. Hi everyone, vote for me next time. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications, and like the video if you enjoy what I'm doing here. I would really appreciate it. So I live streamed this morning, Maxine Waters calling together a bunch of Congress people to ask questions to Gabe Plotsky, the guy behind Melvin Capital that lost billions of dollars, Ken Griffin, the head of Citadel, who I've referred to as the real life Illuminati in front of us that we see, Roaring Kitty, Gill, the diamond hands maniac from Reddit that really shook the entire situation to the core, and even Vlad from Robinhood, the co-founder of Robinhood, and another lady that had some sort of experience in investing, I guess. I don't know. There was a lot of people, and it was on the surface very interesting. But that's where the interesting part ended. They didn't really ask any questions worthwhile. There was nothing that really got to the core of the issue that demanded truth and answers. Some of the Congress people kind of got to the point eventually, and by that time, their time had run out, and it would give Vlad and Ken an excuse to not answer because they'd knock the gavel and just move on to the next person. And we don't really learn anything. We don't figure out anything out of all of this. But I would have loved to have seen somebody make the inference that we got Citadel, who bailed out Melvin Capital days before Robinhood, who they pay for order flow from, stopped allowing people to buy shares of GameStop, along with AMC, BlackBerry, a whole bunch of others. Gotta limit this to GameStop, but the entire situation is crooked as F. I'm very frustrated with it. Those of you who have been around the channel already know that, but it's something that I'd like to see some justice on. And that's the furthest thing from what this congressional hearing is turning into. It's FaceTime for these Congress people to run and get people to vote for them. That's what I'm seeing. Nobody actually did any research for the most part. I don't mean to just paint a broad brush, but I mean, I live streamed for over 3 hours, and very seldomly did I hear anybody say anything worthwhile that actually made me think. It was basically people asking Vlad to explain why Robinhood cares about the little guy. I mean, they were softball questions on a tee. There was nothing challenging. And then Maxine Waters, the congresswoman that was putting this whole thing together, said that they're going to do at least 2 more sessions of this hearing. And I'm like, okay, why? Like, what are we doing here? What are we getting out of this? Nothing. Like, there needs to be a serious internal investigation, undercover, a PI, a company internally investigating the sheer coincidence of Citadel being at the center of all of this, costing retail traders tons of money from shutting down the ability to trade it for what seems like, 5 days, 4 days? It was a long ass time during the pinnacle of the short squeeze that was going on with GameStop, where it could have gone well beyond $1,000 per share. But because Robinhood and Vlad made the executive decision to shut down the ability to buy and then blamed it on a brokerage house and 2-day clearing period and a bunch of random stuff that retail traders have never heard of in their life, but conveniently comes up during the most gigantic short squeeze in our lifetime, and it stops everything dead in its tracks and completely ruins everything. And oh, by the way, the hedge funds that were shorting this thing saved billions upon billions of dollars for not having to cover their positions. It was just, everything was just way too convenient. It was way too much of a coincidence. And I guess with what this could be is the very, very, very beginnings of that investigation, where they're just kind of testing the waters and getting some feelers out there, getting some sound clips, especially from Ken Griffin from Citadel, where they put him on the spot a couple of times, where he had to say yes or no to some things that if they found out the opposite to, would get him into some serious hot water. But I mean, hot water for a billionaire is what? A slap on the wrist. He's not going to jail. He's not getting any prison time. There's nothing that these guys can't handle when they get a $7 million slap on the wrist. That's like, they make that in a half hour some days. So I guess the problem is with all of this, and they alluded to this with part of it, the punishments don't fit the crimes. These people that are manipulating the stock market know that it's cheaper to get a fine and slap on the wrist and build that into their entire business plan, as opposed to doing the right thing. If the fines were in the high millions of dollars, approaching the billions of dollars, and jail time, then I would like to think they'd think twice about breaking the law. But it's so easy. It's so easy to break the law with these minuscule fines that are outdated from the 70s, where the millions of dollars don't mean the same thing as they used to. That maybe what can come from this is them taking a look at how they fine people. My concern is that they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction and over-regulate this crap like they always do, but who knows? I don't want to jump to too many conclusions with this. These are my thoughts on the situation. I feel like there's a lot of good that could come from this way down the road, but as of right now, on the surface, it just feels like a gigantic waste of time, unless they actually act on this information and pull a full, thorough, independent investigation, looking at the records, the emails, the phone calls, everything that went on behind the scenes, put people under oath, depositions, getting them to actually say things that could jeopardize them in a legal position and put them in prison if they lied about it. That's the kind of actions that need to be taken. But right now, that's not what's happening. Right now, it's just they're just playing to the camera and grandstanding for I guess attention. That's what it feels like. It is frustrating. It was a gigantic waste of time so far. Could something come from it? I guess. But as of right now, it's just going through the motions, which sucks. Keith Gill, Roaring Kitty, Deep Fucking Value, nailed it though. Knocked it out of the park. Every time they asked him a question, he was more professional than these billionaires. Really represented the average man better than anybody could have ever hoped. I'm so proud of him. Like, it's funny too, being one of the early investors in GameStop that I was, going to his live streams back when he had like 8 to 10 people in the live stream for what felt like 6 to 8 hours of a live stream. It was like a chill group, small, I guess you could say a family of people that all believed in GameStop before anyone did. And now that all of our hopes and dreams have come true to surpass even most of our wildest expectations, it's funny to look back at that and just see, wow, we were right. We called it. And then the fallout where he's getting like lawsuits filed against him because he liked a stock. Oh God, you get to the point in life where like you can't make this stuff up. People will do anything for money. They will start making ridiculous claims and come at you. If GameStop never went anywhere, nobody would care. But because it was a short squeeze, because it was successful, then all of a sudden politicians care. Then all of a sudden the stock market needs to be looked into. Then all of a sudden Keith Gill gets investigated, and you got CNBC slandering his name, slandering Reddit, slandering everything about what the retail trader is. And you're just like, why? Why are we like this? Money does funny things to people. And it really sucks. I don't think I'm going to be live streaming the rest of Maxine Waters' Congressional GameStopped trial, whatever you want to call it. If something interesting comes from it, I'll definitely post on it. But as of right now, I guess this is the TLDR. You guys aren't missing anything. It's a bunch of congressional political mumbo jumbo just to pretend like they care and pretend like something's happening. But in reality, it's not. And nothing's going to change. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it feels too casual right now. And that's truly unfortunate. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing. Smash